I'm live. Hello and welcome to Growing Gratitude Live. I'm Dr. Lori Hector. I am your host for this live stream where we weekly talk about the challenges of being an autistic adult alive right now, and what it is we do to motivate ourselves to get through all of it, right? And how we keep going and such. So welcome to it. I'm here. I did not make it outside today. I have a crazy, crazy week this week. And part of this crazy week is all of these meetings that are stacked together and things that are happening. And so it has begun for me already. And I did not have the time to get myself all disconnected and reconnected outside. But I'm here now, and that's what counts. So here we are. This week, what are we going to talk about? I have a lot of things to talk about. I think about a lot of things, but I think I'm going to begin in a really honest space, which is where I try to find myself as much as possible. So let's begin there. Here we go. I feel like Mr. Rogers, like switching my sweater when I switch off the sunglasses. It's now my thing. Okay, so, and my pictures are crooked, or they look crooked to me. Anyway, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to talk to you guys about what I'm thinking about. So, as I mentioned last week, I was feeling really, really tired. And I took off a couple of extra days. So here I find myself in front of you guys on my first day back. I was off at the end of last week. And I am feeling much better. I don't know if you can tell, if you can feel the energy that I have coming through, but I'm feeling much better. But I am trying not to fall for it because I feel like it's a false better. And I want to talk about feeling false better for a second. So what do I mean by that? Well, I didn't find myself in this state of semi burnout right overnight. It was a a slower process, right? It was many things stacked upon each other for a couple of years there. And now I find myself in this space where everything has slowed down and it's time to recoup and kind of figure out what's going on. The thing is, what gets you into burnout is this space of overwhelm. It's a space of having too much going on where you're not able to do all the things that you need to do to also function. You're not able to take care of your self care, so to speak, and all of those items. And we find ourselves in burnout. And that happens, right? It happens because life calls us into different directions lots of times. And sometimes we're responding to emergencies that were unexpected or life changes that were unexpected, right? My changes were kind of expected. I decided to pick up and move my whole family cross country, and I started a new job when I got here. And I did a bunch of different things when we got here. So it's been, it was a financial risk, and then we had to recover financial. It's just been a whole thing, right? And so it's not by accident that I am here, right? I did a lot of effort to get myself here, but I'm feeling it now. And so what I have to remind myself is a couple of days off extra, right, isn't going to fix this whole thing, right? It's not going to be a miraculous cure. Do I feel better? Yes. Do I have things I have to do this week? Yes. Will I do them? Of course, right? They are my commitments. But what I'm reminding myself is that I need more than this, right? I need to make some changes in the way that I'm kind of approaching this whole thing. So, what is it that I'm doing in my life that is non-sustainable that I can kind of boot out, right? To fill in with things that are sustainable. That's what I'm looking for. So I have to be thinking about that. What are some things? And I've made those shifts, right? I've started to make those shifts. I'm back here on live stream. I'm doing some more of my tools, right? I'm saying no to some things that I should have been saying no to all along, and I'm saying yes to other things. I'm getting back in touch with my gut. I'm doing all of these things, but I am still tired. And that is fact. That is the fact of being autistic in a very, very loud world. It's also a fact for someone who, in addition to autism, has other chronic illnesses. Bing, 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 right? So I don't just have autism going on, I've got other stuff. And that makes me prone to fatigue. And knowing that about myself, that I am prone to fatigue, I need to add in more rest, is what I came away with. But when I took the rest or the beginnings of the rest, which was this past week when I took these 2 days, something I'm really uncovering about myself is that I don't really do well with rest. So great. I took the days off. That's fantabulous. I'm so glad that I did it. I feel so much better. But what did I do with those days? Well, let me think about it for a little bit. And I want to talk to you a little bit about what I did for those days, right? To give myself a leg up, to band-aid the situation a little bit. But also um, in an effort to figure out how to do more of it. So what I did was, first I gave in to the exhaustion. So for the first 2 days that I was off, we sat around the house and really did nothing. We did caught up on some TV. I did some napping, um, things like that. I tried to remember to eat. And I had like a few little things to do, little errands here and there those first few days, but not much happened. I gotta tell you. By the third day of being off, I was feeling not like I had the flu anymore, and I was feeling more like getting up. And up we did. We got up, we did things, we showered, right? Which is always an occasion. I got up and I did some other things too, like laundry, like the dishes, like taking care of our animals and all of those things, my regular chores. And these things are things that I talk about when I talk about autistic inertia. When we are feeling really stuck in autistic inertia, the way to get back up is to just take care of the basics, to start with the simple things. And that's exactly what I did. I started with the simple things. Let me do some laundry. I'm running out of underwear. Let me clean up around the kitchen. Let me try to get my eating back on point. Let me do some resting. But my brain fought me the entire time. And that's what I wanted to talk about today. That is what I really want to kind of center my gratitudes around this week, is that I am grateful to know, or to have learned, that I struggle with rest, right? And I'm kind of grateful that I went through it with it this weekend. I fought with myself inside my brain, tooth and nail. I was in loops. I was going upside down. What else could I be doing? I have all this time off. I could do this. I could do that. I could create this. I could build this. I could write that. I could paint this. I could do, right? All of these things that I could do with this time off, except just do nothing. Why do I have such a hard time doing nothing? Why does my brain feel so bad doing nothing? Right. And as I was sitting with it, I was really kind of becoming aware of the fact that I feel like when I sit and do nothing, I'm going to get in trouble. Like I'm going to get in trouble from somebody else, that I'm not doing something. Like I should be doing something else. And I don't know where this came from. I don't know like when it became my thought process. I feel like I almost was born with it, but I'm sure that it came from growing up in a household. My mom was a single mom and working all the time, and she didn't really have any downtime. We didn't live like that. We didn't know about rest or how to properly rest, right? And I, as a person, was always trying to do my best, be better than, right? Show everybody that even though I was different, I could still do X, Y, Z, right? And whenever I was resting or taking care of myself, like following that instinct, I found myself in a space where people always were calling me lazy. So I rest more than other people, and that got me the label lazy. And I think in an effort to prove to people that I'm not actually lazy, I'm just tired, and I'm also really aware of how much energy use I use. Like I'm really aware of kind of when someone asks me to do a task, what the whole unfolding of that task will be and how exhausting it will be. And that plays into it, right? I'm really careful with that. I've always been someone who's felt like my energy has always depleted. So I've been careful with what I use it for. And so it's not a laziness, it's a need for rest. It's a need for alone time. It's a need to sit still and just hear nothingness, right? No sensory input, no nothing. And whenever I would be doing that for myself, even if it was under the guise of reading a book, right? I was still kind of pegged lazy. What are you doing? You could be cleaning your room. You could be doing all of these things, right? And so I think I don't allow myself to rest. Like somewhere in my brain, resting or sitting still, not just resting, but sitting still, right? And doing nothing is equated with being lazy. And I don't want to be seen as a lazy person. I know I'm not a lazy person. I do a bunch and I deserve that rest that's in front of me, but I don't know how to do it well. I don't know how to rest well. And so I'm kind of on this journey, this mini journey this summer, and kind of coming into this fall of how to rest well. Why do I feel like I'm going to get in trouble if I find myself sitting and doing and thinking about nothing and truly relaxing, why do I think immediately that I'm going to get in trouble? Like I get like a literal feeling in my stomach, like someone's going to catch me. That's what it feels like. Someone's going to catch me. I'm going to get in trouble. I'm going to get yelled at, or I'm going to get punished somehow for resting. And it's really a messed up way to be when you know that you're someone who has to, incorporate rest very intentionally into their lives. So it's really a mess right now. So that's what I spent these days off thinking about, was how sad I felt for myself that this resting and is so linked to this other mental process, these other trauma triggers or something, right? And what can I do to undo that, right? Like, how do I unpack that? And I don't know. That's my answer right now, is that I don't know. But clearly, I need to spend some more time doing it to get better at it, right? That's how I feel about it. Like, since I learn how to do things by doing, I should do more of it to learn how to do it better. And if that's the case, what I really would be arguing for is more rest. And that aligns perfectly with what I'm seeing, right? And in the outside of my life, is that I definitely need more rest. But I have to learn how to do rest well. So that's my little journey, is my little journey for this next kind of period for me is, how do I learn how to rest well? What mental piece is rest attached to that it makes me feel so bad about myself, rest? And kind of, how can I displace that? How can I undo all of that, take it apart so that it doesn't feel that way to me? Because rest isn't earned. It's not something you have to earn. Rest is something that we all need. It's a human need, just like food and bathrooming and all of those other things. So it's a very strange human thing we do to ourselves around laziness and sitting still and resting, right? That we should all be somehow producing something all the time. And I want to unravel that a little bit. And so my gratitude today really goes to taking rest, because I know that I need it. And so for doing it, but then understanding during that period that I need more kindness to myself around rest. There's something going on there for me. And it's not, I don't know where it's coming from. And I don't think, I'm fairly certain, because no one's like at my door yelling at me, that I'm actually going to get in trouble. So where does that piece come from? And how do I change that switch? How do I make it so that my body and my brain don't kind of switch into that, oh my God, panic mode around resting? I want rest to feel good. How do I make rest feel good? So my gratitude this week is for learning that I have a lot farther to go around rest, and I have some journey to do. And I'm grateful for this opportunity that I had for rest, to know that I need to do more of it. Like, I need to get better at rest. And so that's where I'm at with this whole situation. I'm feeling happier, lighter, definitely clearer about my alignment and where I want to be and what I want to be doing with my energy. And what I can't do is wait so long between rest periods that I get off alignment, I think. So I'm going to try to add more rest. I'm going to see what adding rest does for me and get practice at rest and see if I can handle it. That's what I'm going to do. And that's my gratitude, is sort of for this today, for being able to process out that I have to get better at rest. How do you feel about rest? What's your deal with rest? Do you rest well? What does rest feel like for you? And does anybody else out there experience that panic that I experienced when you find yourself sitting still doing nothing, like you're going to somehow get caught, that you should shut your curtains so no one should know you're resting, right? Does anyone else experience that? I guess I'm curious about that piece too. So while you're thinking about that, I will switch out my glasses back into my sunglasses to remind you that Growing Gratitude is here every Monday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time. I am sometimes outside, sometimes inside, but I'm always with my sunglasses, because that is the name of my book. Oop, here. Here. You can get yourself a copy of that anywhere on Amazon. It's available in Kindle, paperback, and audiobook. And of course, there are links below in the description to this video talking about my course, my website, all the ways you can connect with me. And I hope that you do. I hope you will take some time this week to think about rest and where it lives in your life, and what it's connected to for you. And how do you rest? What does good rest feel like and look like to you? I'm on that journey myself, so I'll find out. Until next time, I say to you, take care of your meat suit, take care of your headspace, and by all gosh sakes, be out there looking for those glimmers. I certainly find them everywhere. I bet you will too when you start looking for them, because those are the things that keep us grateful. Those are the things that keep us growing gratitude in our lives. And so I hope you will look for them. I do. And I will see you next Monday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern for the next Growing Gratitude. Bye.